hello, depending on what part of the world you're in today. It's good morning, good evening, good night. Wherever you are, welcome. So what I wanted to do today was just talk to you a little bit about spiraling out of control when you've got a chronic illness. So whether it be your thoughts or whether it be things that are happening in your life at that particular time, because we can all really feel like that we're living this really up and down roller coaster ride with everything that's happening. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that one today and to give you a little bit of background on what I actually have done to help me actually go through that. So it's possible to come out the other side of the ups and downs and roller coasters. So, like when you're in the throes of it and you think, well, okay, this is fine, life's going on okay, you've got a few up and downs happening, but then all of a sudden you get these really big up and down dips that come in, and it just feels like it's, this thing that goes boom, there's another thing that's coming in and it's got you again. And it's worse than what happened last time, and it just feels like you're on this never-ending merry-go-round. And a few times with that boom coming in can actually really change the way your subconscious mind starts to think, and it can actually really start to think, geez, Deb's expecting that to happen, so let's prove her right and give her something else that will create the boom. So after a while, it keeps going and going and going, and you feel like you really are starting to spiral out of control. Your mind's a funny thing, because it starts to then think, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. I wonder whether it's going to be as bad as what it was last time. And you start to wait on it. And it's when you start to wait on it, then you're really sending your mind all these beautiful messages that says, oh, okay, well, why isn't it here? Where did it go? So you get that happening, and then when you actually start to move through it, you get this real sense of, I don't know about you, but for me, I got this real sense of feeling sorry for myself. I had this victim mentality happening, and I didn't even realize that I had it. I just thought that things were happening to me and there was no way out of it, and it was just going to keep going and going and going. Your mind's a really strong tool that you've got. It's probably the strongest tool that you've actually got, particularly when you're in a chronic illness. If you're anything like me, and I really hate to admit this, but I did things, and these things that I was really, really bad at, and I used to go, oh, why do I deserve to be sick all the time? People just don't understand me. My God, my husband doesn't understand me. My friends don't understand me. My family doesn't understand me. I'd like to put them in my body for a little while. So I used to go ahead and I used to say that, and I'd go, oh no, I can't do that today because I'm in too much pain. Or I had a really bad night last night, so don't even talk to me this morning. And have you taken a look at me? Have you really taken a look at me today? No, you might not be able to see anything, but I feel so sick today. And the list goes on and on and on. And oh my God, that is what can really, really happen. I can't believe my life is so crappy now. I can't believe that I'm not well enough to hold a job down, or how long am I going to be able to hold my job down for? Or it feels like the whole world's turning against me, and I just don't have the energy there to do what I've got to do. This is when our thoughts really start to spiral out of control. This is where you have that choice, whether you can stop that spiraling pattern and change the way that things are going to happen for you. And I know I can hear you saying at the moment, oh my God, Deb, is this all really in our heads? Well, there's a certain part of it there that does play a factor. It's not all in our heads, like it's in our bodies as well, it's in our life, it's what's happening to us. But we can't control those things. Those things are going to keep coming at us. And it's up to us whether we decide to actually let that be the thing that controls us. So yes, a certain amount of it is in our head, it's in our mindset, and we actually do have control over that. And it's really important to really stop and think about what you are saying to yourself. You can change that downward downward spiral in your thoughts. You might not be able to change 100% in your body at the time, but once you start changing it in your thoughts, then it is very possible that your body will come along for the little ride with you on it as well. Okay, so what are some of the steps that we actually take to be able to start getting out of that, whole victim mentality when we're in there and we're playing the victim, or that mindset, that the subconscious thoughts that's going around in our head, that little voice, the little, I don't know, they call it the ego or the inner voice. I call it Dora, because Dora comes knocking at my door quite often, and I'm very aware of what Dora says. And if you are aware of whatever your voice is, it's always great to give them a name. Then you can talk about them in the third person. It doesn't mean to say that they're not part of you, but it means to say that, well, if Dora is there, that's Dora. That might not be how I'm feeling at that particular time, but that's how Dora's feeling. So that's always a good little tip there to be able to do that. When you're feeling like you're, out of control and you're feeling like the situation can't be changed and there's a whole heap of things that's going on for you, one of the things you can really do is start to just really stop and be really aware of what thought patterns are happening in your head, what Dora is actually, for me, what Dora is actually saying in my head. And is it something that's really the truth? Or is it something that Dora has just brought up because of past experiences that she's had? So I'll give you an example. For me, when I was in the throes of all of this, feeling like I was spiraling out of control and I was feeling like I couldn't do anything because I was in so much pain, I couldn't I couldn't walk without pain. And I suppose what I'm saying there is that was my past. So Dora's going on what my past was. Now, in my future doesn't mean to say that I can't walk without pain. So then you've got this battle in your, going on in your head. Well, I know that I can do it without pain, but Dora's saying that I can't. So who are you going to listen to? Are you going to listen to that little voice in your head, or are you going to go on present experiences? It's always a great thing to go out. Like for me now, when Dora comes knocking and I'm thinking, Dora's thinking, geez, I can't go out and I can't start walking because of the pain. It's always a great thing just to get up, take a few steps and go, oh, there's no pain. Dora's wrong. So then you can prove Dora wrong. So always look for the truth in your situation that's actually happening at the moment. See if there's anything there that you can change right at this very moment. Because, you might be thinking that there's nothing there that you can change, but here's a really big tip for you. When you're in the throes of it and you're thinking like that you can't change anything, there is just one thing that you can change at that very moment, and that is the thoughts in your head. Your mind is so powerful that you can really change your experience through the thoughts that are in your head. Changing your self-talk. How are you talking to yourself internally? Are you saying really good things like, oh wow, I can get up and I can have a good day today. I am having a great day today. Or are you getting up out of bed and you're going, I had the crappiest sleep last night. I was in so much pain and I just feel awful. So there's a difference between your self-talk, your positive self-talk and your negative self-talk. So go with your positive self-talk and catch yourself doing this as many times as possible. It's called being mindful. And when you actually be mindful like that, you give yourself a chance to actually stop and pause. And it's that pause then that will give you your opportunity to change your thoughts. So write down your thoughts. Write them down in a journal. Journaling is one of the best things to have to be able to become aware of your thoughts, and you can always go back in when you've finished journaling and rewrite the script that's playing in your head. You don't have to remember it or anything, just rewrite it. It's that subconsciously being able to sit down and just change it. You'd be surprised at how well that really, really works. Start your sentences with I choose or I get to. And for me, my whole thing that changed, with me was that I had that car accident. I had a pivotal moment happen in my life where I decided to change. So you too you don't have to have a car accident or anything like that, but you too can choose to change. And it's when you truly 100% decide that you're going to change the way that things are in your life, that you've had an absolute enough, you've had it up to here. Well, that's when the magic can absolutely come in and you can change. For me, my spiraling down that I had happened, I think it started in 2016. And in 2016, I had a sinus operation that went wrong where I had bone removed and it died. I lost a dear family member to cancer that year. It was really awful. I lost my job because I was too sick to hold my job down and was asked to step down. My hubby broke his tendon in one of his legs. I think it was his left leg. And then he moved on and broke lots of tendons in his shoulders. He had 12 months off work. Then we had the car accident where I didn't actually think that I would see hubby again. I haven't shared this with very many people because it's very, very, very difficult for me to actually admit that that this actually happened, I suppose, in the middle of the car accident. But it is something I'm going to share now because it's something that this is probably one of the reasons why I had my turning point. I had the car, we were hit behind from one car and it turned us in front of a truck. And when it turned us in front of that truck, I'll never ever forget that truck actually coming, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm never going to see my husband again. He's not going to make it out of this. How can he make it out of this? That truck's going to take him out on that side. I might make it out, but he won't. In that moment, my husband turned around and he looked at me and he said, "Oh dear, Debbie, what have you done?" Now, he didn't even realize later on that he had said it. And it certainly wasn't my fault, and I knew it wasn't my fault. But at that particular time, if he hadn't have made it, that's what I was left with. "Oh dear, Debbie, what have you done?" It would have been something that I would have carried with me for the rest of my life. Now, I had a choice at that moment whether I would, take that on and feel like things were kept spiraling, but I didn't do that. I chose to decide that I chose me. I chose to have a better life because I never wanted to hear those words again, because those words to me meant I had a nose operation, I had meniscus operations, I had knee replacement. Just everything seemed to snowball into that particular moment for me. So there will be something in your life that you will actually get to that moment where you choose that you do not want to go any further than what you are. And for me, that's what it was. It was the car accident. So I chose that I wasn't going to let my life spiral out of control anymore. That was it. Try meditation. Try your journaling. Be mindful. Watch the thoughts in your head, because those subconscious thoughts that are in your head are the most damaging ones or the most helpful ones that you can actually have. It's so important to break the habit of what is actually happening in your mind, because your mind is so, so powerful. For me, when I was going through everything that I went through, changing my mindset is the number one thing that I did to be able to move me forward. There's a number of other steps that I took there as well, but just changing my mindset is and was the key. And it still is today, because I can still slip back into those spiraling patterns. I'll give you another example. At the beginning of this year, we sort of moved into doing a different job and everything. We were actually really lucky because we got to be able to work with David. And David's my brother, if you don't know who David is, and David's mentally and physically disabled. So we got that chance to do that. But my life got turned around upside down again at the beginning of the year. My hubby come home out of trucks. My hubby hasn't been home out of trucks, living with me full time, I don't know, 33 years? 33 years. We weren't home all the time because our shift work with David meant that we had to go and stay with David a certain amount of times each fortnight. So then, you just, all these things start coming at you. Well, then the ute got water in the fuel. I mean, and these are only small things, but these are things that still could have triggered me. The caravan fridge died. There was so many things that was coming and they were just hitting me, bang, 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 bang. But because I'd already known how to actually watch my mindset, how to watch those thoughts that was in my head, and because I knew that I was going to have a bit of a tough time of it, I decided that I was going to get some help, and I decided that I'd get a mindset coach, which I did. And best thing that I ever did was to be able to move myself through that, and I didn't react like I did the time before. And here we are, in July, and I can honestly tell you that none of those things mattered in the end. They didn't matter. I didn't focus on them. I just kept moving forward. And my body, I went from not being able to walk very well, being like, I think it was 6 months out of having a knee replacement, to going into being a carer. My body killed me. My whole body ached. My knee wouldn't work properly. I didn't get the sleep that I needed because of the pain at night time. I still don't, because I still have pain at night time. But my point is that my mindset is different. I'm very mindful of what I do. I do my journaling. I work on my meditation. I do all those really good things to start with, and it changes the way I think about it, which really helps me with those spiraling thoughts, and then they don't turn into all of this spiraling life that it can. So that's my little story there for you. There's 2 different stories there where one, I wasn't using my mindset, wasn't using my subconscious mind to my best benefit, and one where I am. And it can really change your life. When you start making those changes in your life, it is amazing how good your life can become. Yes, you're still going to have the pain, but you don't have to focus on it. Things can still go wrong. So what? It's another day tomorrow. So I really hope that you get something out of this, that you really understand that there is a change that you can do. And my biggest wish for you at the moment, at this very, very moment, is that you are able to overcome some of these obstacles that you've been living your life with, and to be able to move on. Now, that's why I'm really excited to offer you my 6-week program, Take Stock and Take Action Now. And I'm really, really excited about this, because what I've done is I've been able to put together some of the things that happened to me and the ways that I was able to move forward, and to be able to teach and share those with you. It's really lovely to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that there's hope there. That you don't have to feel that spiraling effect coming out of control all the time. That if you don't know whether you are still going to be able to stay in your job, that, maybe the universe has got a bigger plan for us. These are the things that really, really I can help with, because you can go from that to knowing, well, if I don't have my job, how am I going to handle it? What am I going to do? And get out of that spiraling thoughts, and to be able to focus clearly on what that next step is that you need to take. Taking these really small steps all the time, really over time, lead up to such marvelous results. I haven't done anything special. I just knew when something worked and when something didn't work. And when something didn't work, I tried something else. So that's what my Take Stock, Take Action Now program is all about. It's being able to work out exactly where you are now, where you need to be, and what are we going to do it. All right, so that'll be enough for me today. So much love, light, and laughter to you all. I will talk to you all soon. Bye.
If you found this video helpful and you really liked it, give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe and leave me a comment. I'll see you in the next video.